This is Sean Wallace from Soul Circus. Come hang out with the Funk Train and get some grease smeared on you. This weekend, Friday night, we invade the levee at the River House, 9 to 1. Saturday, we do Cabo Wabo at the Mall St. Matthews parking garage to benefit Blessings in a Backpack. The fun starts at 7. And Sunday, take a ride on the big deck at Captain's Quarters from 8 to midnight. Stay tuned to my favorite and Soul Circus endorsed podcast, Shooting from the Lip, for more dates. Soul Circus, y'all. Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Shooting from the Lip features views and opinions from smart, funny, serious, and not so serious people. This show is intended for a mature and not so mature audience. Enjoy the show!
What is up? Kevin Hale in this Shooting from the Lip studio, live from Louisville, Kentucky. Shooting it here on Wednesday night, June 8th, 2016. Alive and kicking here with my Wednesday night partner in crime, Mr. Greg Unthank. Greg, what's up?
Hello, folks. How are you? How you doing, Kevin?
I'm good. You doing all right, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm doing wonderful. It's a beautiful day. I'm sitting out here in the breezeway, man. It's a wonderful, cool evening. I can't complain about anything.
Gotcha. Joining us tonight, my Friday night partner in crime for the paranormal stuff, Tiffany Mack. Tiffany, what's up?
Not much. Just enjoying being on the show again, and can't wait to hear what's coming on tonight.
Enjoying me on the show again. You like hearing yourself or something?
No, this is a different feel than our regular shows for me. I mean, the music and the entertainment, it's totally different than what, I typically do. So it's fun.
You're right. Our Friday night thing is, I think it's safe to say it's a sense of a little bit of a more, is serious the right word, or more heavy? It's not as, I don't know what I'm looking for, but nonetheless, what we do on Friday night is very fun.
Not as controversial.
Well, that's true, yeah. I noticed our first guest tonight, he dropped. Did you scare him away? What'd you do?
No, I didn't, but he did. We both dropped at the same time, and he's says all Circus busy, so that should be entertaining for the evening. There goes our guest.
Yeah, we have two segments tonight. First segment, Scott Frazier is going to join us. He's the owner, founder of Overtone Music Group. And then for the second segment, Sylvia Walters, local singer here in the Louisville area, will be on to talk about project stuff that she's involved with. Greg, you've got history. Actually, you have history with both the guests tonight, right?
I don't have as much history with Sylvia. I do know Sylvia. I actually seen Sylvia Friday night. I was playing out there at the Germantown Blues Festival, and she was out there supporting the band I was playing with. Actually, I was playing with Wallace and the Groove Hounds, which is Soul Circus, a spin-off of what they do, and she's always supporting local music and is in the tight-knit group that they have. I know that Sylvia gets involved with, many benefits, and she's well known in that. I'm not for sure. I think she's involved with the Murph Foundation as well. I'd have to, get that verified. But yeah, I know Sylvia through that. I've spoken to her a few times, and as far as Scott goes, we go way, way back. I actually, I was going to bring this up to Scott. I actually worked for his father, and I played in a band with his brother.
Hold that thought, because
yes,
he's coming on. I think we'll go.
Right.
He's actually live now. Scott Frazier, Flava Fraze.
What's going on? What do you say?
How are you, man?
How are you guys?
Hey, Scott.
Good. Greg Unthank,
I don't know who's
Tiffany
who.
Mack.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know who's who, but I want to say hello. First and foremost, thanks, Kevin. But, Greg, oh, my gosh, man. How long has it been?
Man, you know, the last time I seen you, it was at a concert a few years back, and you walked up to me and you said, Greg, and at that point it was probably, oh my gosh, man, what?
It was for my band Volbeat.
Actually, I don't think it was for that band, but you had told me at that time that you were managing Volbeat, and I was totally blown away. I was like, that is so awesome, you know, that you've done such great things like that. You told me of another band that you'd actually was managing. Who was the other band? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Oh gosh,
before Volbeat.
Saving Abel and
Yes,
it's been a lot.
Yeah, man, and I was like really happy for you, man. I you know, it comes to a shock when you know somebody, you know, from the old days, and you see how successful they've been, and actually not shocking because you've always been a go-getter. You've got that business background, of course, from your father, and I want to go to there, man. Your father, what a great man he was, man. You know, you can't say enough about him. Such a kind guy, a great guy, a funny guy to be around, supportive fella. Just want to say, man, I really did enjoy getting to know your father, and you know, I just want to say it's sorry to hear about his passing. I guess that was some time ago, but
well, my dad, no, Greg, my dad didn't pass. It was my uncle, Danny. My dad is actually the last living brother of them all, so he's still here. So I hope that's not a curse.
I did not. I'm sorry, man. I got wrong information there. Then that's great.
My cousin.
That's great. Sorry about Danny.
My dad
sorry
is
about
still,
Danny.
Yeah, Danny's the one that passed.
Okay. All right.
Greg, this is how rumors get started.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Exactly. So, but Scott, thanks for coming on the show tonight. Besides going way back with Greg, you're kind of like in the present with our other hostess tonight, Tiffany Mack. How's that working for you these days?
What, being around Tiffany?
Me. He loves me.
Well, it's funny. You don't. Not only is Tiffany a friend, but it's crazy enough. She's my neighbor, and and it's actually pretty awesome because we kind of met. I met her and her husband, and we hit it off, and it's just been cool. It's nice to have great neighbors, but when you meet somebody that you actually hang out with, it even makes it a bonus.
There you go.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've never been called a bonus before, so that's cool.
Well, I've been called a never mind. I was going to go somewhere else, but well, I guess I can. Technically, I guess I can. We are shooting from the lip. So I guess I could say that.
There's no FCC restrictions here. So
there's no regulations here. But my father's still alive, so I better not do that because in case he's listening in, he might be like, "I raised you better."
Yeah. Well, if he is listening, Ron, I apologize, and hey, man, I hope you're doing well.
No. Oh, man, that's great. Kevin, thanks. I really appreciate you bringing me on, man. It's I didn't know a whole lot about what you guys were doing, but I think it's a cool thing. I love this. I love the title of your show. It's a cool. It's really cool. So,
thanks.
I don't really know what the agenda is tonight. I didn't really get a bullet point, if you will. So I'm going to just kind of defer to you, and I'll follow your kind of lead, and you just take this thing and let's rock.
And it's just, in a sense, it's the name of the show. It's just shooting it. It's about now. I do have a background on you, and you know what you've been doing as far as the music scene. You know, actually, you and Greg go back a long way. My understanding is actually, Scott, your brother and Greg played in a band together. Is that is that correct?
Yeah. Can I just tell I'll tell the quick version of the whole story because it's actually really cool of how we go from back then to now, and it's really kind of cool. So, you know, Greg knows this. My dad, great man, was a preacher, which is even crazy enough that I'm even in this business. But that being said, my brother, and Greg will attest to this, was a savant musician. Playing piano and drums and everything at 4 and 5 years old. Remarkable drummer, and just a remarkable musician and talent all the way around. Well, I was probably I always knew he had a gift. It was probably sixth grade when I was like, man, I'm going to get you discovered one day. I'm going to be your manager, and we're going to do this as bros, and et cetera, et cetera. And you fast forward to, right after high school, I joined the Marine Corps, got out, and just dove right into what I was doing, working corporate America, doing you got to pay the bills. But I was fortunate enough to find a band, made some contacts with my sales and marketing background, got a band signed to Universal Records, a band from Louisville called Flaw, and then 6 months after that did a deal with Atlantic Records, and basically everything that said I was going to do in sixth grade came to fruition at that point with my brother getting a record deal. But the story goes with Greg, it's just there was an evolution of musicians, and there was a really budding music scene here, and there was bands like in the cover scene, the Almost Noahs and the Whatever Wills and the Unknown and all those bands, and the Bash back in the day, and all those bands were just packing places, and that's really where my brother got his start. And we ended up meeting Greg. Greg ended up playing drums in the band, and just a remarkable guy. And unfortunately, he wasn't with us on that journey with the label, but probably better that he didn't, because things didn't turn out quite the way we anticipated them to. But yeah, Greg, and that's. I'm going to be kind there, but it's been a really cool story, man. I'm living my dream, and I've had success over the years, and I don't know, man. It's really cool to have still kept my roots in Louisville, and then find out that I'm going to be on a show tonight that with somebody that I find I'm very fond of. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I'm amazed in 5 minutes you become fond of me, but we'll keep going with this. Yeah. Now, give us the bio with really what Overtone Music Group is all about.
Well, Overtone is kind of a I don't know. It's been an evolution over the years, but we're an artist management company, and we like to say we take bands from the garage to arenas. At whatever capacity that may be, whether it's procuring a record deal, whether it's finding agents and putting a team together, the whole 9 yards, just basically navigating the path that you need to go to get to get to the next level as an artist. And we've been very boutique about it. Never really wanted to be a big firm. Just really wanted to just find great bands, keep the roster small, and break them, and we've done it. We've my business partner Rick Smith is in Detroit. Rick has spanned 35 years of managing, spanning back to John Waite and Houdini and et cetera, and Seether, and the list goes on. Days of the New. But Rick and I have been fortunate enough to be working together for about 10 years. We just most recently broke Volbeat. With 5 back-to-back number ones. Let's
fast forward to the Volbeat thing. They're a really hot band right now, Scott. How did that all get started for you?
Well, we were managing Save and Able at the time, and we got an email, got a phone call from the booking agent who we're very close with and deal with daily, and he said he was going to take a meeting with the band. They were looking for an agent for the U.S. They wanted to break outside of Europe, where they were very popular in Europe, but wanted to break into North America, Canada, etc. And so in that meeting, he told my business partner and I, he said, listen, man, the band is actually looking for management in the U.S. as well. And if you want, I'll let you know how it goes with me, and I'll help you guys get a meeting if you're into it. So he sent us music, and the first thing I heard was Still Counting, and saw the video, etc., and saw the little Johnny Cash stuff they were doing, and just was immediately blown away. I called Rick. I said, we have to do this. They were on tour with Metallica at the time in the round in the U.S., and we took a meeting with them in Grand Rapids. It came down to us and another management company, one of the big firms that I mentioned a minute ago that we didn't want to be, and we ended up ultimately getting the gig, and we're fortunate enough to take them where they are today. unfortunately, we parted ways with the band last November, but that's okay. It was an amicable split, and they're still rocking, and we've moved on to other things. Not for any lack of anything, just some creative things, and we decided to call it a day. However, the success of the band being in North America, I can proudly say that Rick and I broke that band in the U.S., so it's been a cool thing.
You know, and that's another thing I wanted to ask you. And I've always heard this. You know, I don't know the business end of it, you know, nearly as much as you do, but I've always heard that it's harder to break in the U.S. than it is, you know, over in Europe and other countries. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, it's funny, too. The other is true that the fans stick with you longer, too. You know, like bands like Dream Theater and stuff like that can still go over to Europe and still sell out arenas and stuff. And you know, it's crazy because those fans, it's just a weird cultural divide where they're just so loyal. Canada's that way too, and the only thing I can attribute that to is just the saturation of just so much A, crap, and B, just so much. It's like, geez, can we just digest and act for a while and really just love that band? You know, you think back in the days, there wasn't like 50 million, you know, different things popping every week and a new flavor. It's like we've just become fickle, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Now, you bring up a good point, guys. And I'll say this: one of my, it's still kind of a guilty pleasure. One of my favorite '80s bands, and it has carried on throughout the years, is Toto. And, you know, right now, you know, Toto, no one knows in the U.S.
Toto, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't know them right now, but, you know, in the band, Steve Lukather, David Payne, you got some of the most talented musicians, and they go, and they're still so incredibly popular overseas, you know, internationally. Yeah, but, you know, and I still follow them, and they, to me, still make good music. And, you know, that's where it totally... It sucks is that, you know, if you've got a million followers on social media and you're a recent Idol contestant, you've got a fat record deal waiting for you, and they're just pushing you out there, and they're shoving, you know, your music and your personality, everything down our throats on FM radio, you know, pop, whatever. It's country, pop, everybody. What's your take when it comes to nationally the whole U.S. music scene, Scott?
Well, it's funny. I'll use Volby as an example. In that genre of active rock, which is the format that band plays at radio. It's funny. It's that format has over the past few years is not what it was. And it's sad. However, I am seeing a resurgence of the metal scene and stuff, which is kind of cool. It just kind of comes around in cycles. But I don't know, man. I think I have mixed feelings, but I still think I know. I mean, radio is still king as far as getting the quickest way from A to Z as an artist. You know.
Right.
You don't think that it is, but it's still king.
Ooh. Much better on the
as far as getting the quickest way to get from A to Z, basically.
I hear you. Tiffany, jump in.
Well, I really think that overall, I've really not heard any music besides on the radio, so I don't usually get any new music except from Scott. So
do you not listen to our show? Do you not listen to our show on Wednesday nights,
no.
Tiffany? You've been
occasionally.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. We have a listening party every Wednesday.
Oh, Scott is so saving your ass, Tiffany.
I know. But no, honestly,
a listening party.
The new music that I hear is from Scott. I mean, he comes to my house to really show off his bands and potential musicians and great singers. I mean, the guy's got it. He's got really good. He's got a great ear, and Scott, I really think that hearing the musicians that you've brought to my attention, some of them are incredible. Some of them I'm like, maybe not my speed, but this new girl. You need to go into the. Can we talk about the
I was just
young
going to
lady?
say it's a perfect.
Can we talk about Abigail?
Absolutely. I was just going to say it's a perfect segue because
he's incredible.
I've always been in the rock scene, and even though although we had success with Saving Abel at Pop, we crossed that single over to top 40, and it went all the way to number 6, which is a remarkable feat. However, that being said, I've always been in the rock world. So I wanted to to branch out, and I've always wanted to find a country act or an Americana act or whatever that I can have some success in that world. And I found out very quickly that the country world is a whole different. Even though the players are the same, and the people that run the record companies are the same folks, it's a completely different thing, and it really is a boys' club. I've learned that a lot. But that being said, I've got my newest stuff that I'm working on, and I can use this as a plug. But you're definitely going to be hearing about them. We're actually in negotiations with a label as we speak on a young lady that I've been developing for several years. Her name is Abby Owens. She's kind of like if Stevie Nicks and Adele and Chris Stapleton had a kid, it would be her.
Wow.
Just a real rootsy, soulful chick. Got a voice that'll stop traffic. So that's that. We're doing that. We're working on a deal as we speak there. I've got Louisville's own, I should say Kentucky's own, Jericho Woods is one of my clients. And they're doing remarkably well. I'm sure you guys if you've been keeping up in the scene, they just won, they were just voted Kentucky Living magazine most successful or most popular touring act or whatever it was. And they just won that first place in that Hard Rock Cafe thing as well, which is cool. But anyway, they're in the studio now making a new record with Skid Mills, a Grammy-nominated producer. He did my Saving Abel record. And then I've got a band that I've charted at country radio called Ashland Bell, like Ashland, Kentucky, and then Belle. And you can get that on iTunes. And we just charted that. So just a lot of fun stuff happening. And it's allowed me to branch out and spend a little more time in Nashville. And I'm still doing the rock, just picked up Stereo Side. They were signed to Beeler Brothers back in the day, and they just released a new single, and that's my only other rock thing right now. Everything else is Americana and kind of branched out into country a little bit. So I'm having fun.
There you go. A quick plug, Jericho Woods is going to be with one of my local favorite bands, WildWood, at Diamond in St. Matthews on June 25th. Plug there. That'll be a fun night. Actually have made plans to go hang with those guys.
We should shoot from the lip there.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think that would be awesome.
We definitely have to hook up. We're going to meet. But you text me something that I thought was like, wow. You're just coming off 5 consecutive back-to-back number ones and a Grammy nomination. Go on and brag about that real quick.
Well, it's
not
really
bragging if it's
man.
true. I was going to say it's not bragging if it's true, but go ahead.
No, I want to just say it humbly, man, because I'm not that guy. But I was very fortunate to take. We took Volbeat to 5 back-to-back number ones, and then we parted ways, as I told you. But I can say that I wasn't wrong because they just scored their 6th number one on the chart. So for an active rock band to come in the U.S. and do that is remarkable, and then go from playing club-sized shows to headlining an arena is pretty staggering in just a matter of 3.5 years. So,
very cool. Wow.
I have something that I'd like to discuss.
Really?
If it's my wife, I don't even go there. All right.
Well, you know, the one thing that has really, really drawn my husband in is the fact that Scott has helped to put on this show called Louder Than Life. Let's talk about Louder Than Life, Scott. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first and foremost, I want to make it real clear of the relationship there. So that festival is Danny Wimmer presents. However, that being said, I've known Danny for a long time, and you know, we had been discussing having always for the longest time kept saying we need a rock festival in Louisville, and I eventually I called Danny, arranged, just in a nutshell without getting all the details. I basically set up the meeting to meet with the mayor in the mayor's office and et cetera, put the thing in motion. The city approved it, and this will be the third year. And so, you know, I did bring that festival here, although it's Danny's show, so I don't want to steal any thunder at all. It's not, you know, it's not mine.
Yeah,
but that's how it went down. Yeah.
No, it didn't go down that way. You stole my husband 2 years for like 15 hours.
Well, if you wanted details as to what happens at Louder, I thought what happens at Louder Than Life stays at Louder Than Life.
It should. Tiffany.
Yeah. Your husband was Tiffany, I kept saying, come on, Chris, come out and hang out with us and have some fun. And he just kept saying, no, I miss my wife. I'm going to stand right here.
Exactly. Plus, Tiffany, that's the bro code. Just, you know, see your way out of that. You know, why you got to call him out over that, Tiff?
No.
He's a guest.
Let's just say he really enjoyed going to it with you, and you were like his idol.
Well, you know what? I can literally walk, now that you did that, don't forget, I can literally walk 100 yards down to your house, and they may hear some craziness going on there on this show.
I know.
Yeah.
I could. They could. Don't make me yell.
There is nothing like TMZ sound bites when it comes to this show, so please.
Oh, man. Anyway, that's
Kevin, you have
yes,
no idea how many sound bites could be taken at our house any day of the week, especially on weekends with Scott and Anna.
we have a reality TV show in itself.
We
there,
do.
so
all
maybe,
four of us together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
But it usually does revolve around music, so that's good.
Okay.
Kevin, I'm just going to throw this out there. I think you should. This is my 2 cents. You should take shoot from the lip, and we should do this and actually talk to bands all the time on a national level and just have a good time.
You know what?
Because look, I want to say it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that, you know, right now I'm really, you know, I have my day job, and this is my little, I don't know if it's a midlife crisis. No, I actually enjoy doing this. I get to meet a lot of cool people. I do a Monday night, Wednesday night, Friday night. Tiffany's with me on Friday night. Greg's with me tonight, Wednesday nights, and then Monday night is kind of an eclectic show. But Wednesday nights is cool because I do get to, you know, it's all about promoting the local music scene, talking to people within the local music scene, and as you know, we're going to do, you know, Greg and I talk. We're going to get a hold of people who have, you know, who grew up here and moved on out of Louisville to, you know, to pursue their dreams. We're going to get those people on too. But I mean, the whole music. There's nothing better than live music and a cold beer, and and especially the music I don't know. I want to go to a gig and hear all this original music and just feel it. And there is a lot of talent here. Now, Scott, you talked about
I can tell you some of my picks that I think from the local scene that I think are worthy to. If you don't know who they are, then you definitely should. Zach Longoria Project is fantastic. Jack Harlow, the hip hop kid from Atherton, is fantastic and is about to explode out of here and follow the footsteps of Bryce Tiller. gosh, Jericho Woods obviously is considered a local band. They're just Kentucky boys, just right up the road. But
right.
Those would probably be some. Jalen Rose, another great artist from Louisville. And then, gosh, there's so many bands happening. I got to give a shout out to Wes Allen, who started his label Eastwood Records in Louisville. He's kind of doing a cool thing, just signed Peter Searcy, doing a record there and doing some cool vinyls and stuff. But yeah, there's just you're right. It's a great music scene. It's been that way, and I think Billboard actually named it the top 6 music scene in the country, which is pretty cool.
Really?
Well,
that is very cool.
That's great.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's your hookup tab right there.
Yeah, that is our hookup. You know what? One thing I found, Greg, with Scott, and I kind of anticipated it, and he just verified it for me, is that one little segment with Scott is not enough. I mean, he's a guy that we can have him on. We'll get him back on again, a recurring guest, because he's always going to be in the know or in the within it with the music scene here, and and Scott, rounding out, you mentioned something. Can I ask you? You touched on it in a text or something, where a project that you're kind of trying to get involved with. Is that something you can talk about now, or about?
No, not yet, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine.
But I can tell you this. I can tell you that that it involves my brother, and we created a technology that is going to revolutionize the way we do things, and that's, I know that may sound like a crazy thing, but it is, and it's an app, it's a software.
Okay.
And we just, matter of fact, I can tell you this: we just got the final. I just got the trademark approved, and we just got the patent on it. So I'm going to be releasing that soon. But it's big. It's like Facebook big.
Wow!
Sweet.
Throw that in our face. You know what? We'll definitely stay in the loop, because not only are we kind of like a entertainment show, we want to be like CNN, like a news breaking kind of show too. So stay tuned for the project.
Yeah. You heard it here first, but it is. I can tell you the name of it. It's called Music, and it's going to change the way that artists interact with one another creatively.
You said V as in music. Is that what you said? View.
VUSIC, yeah, Music.
Gotcha. Music.
So you heard it here first, yeah.
Good. Greg, anything? I mean, Greg, you don't sound like dazzled by anything, because you've just known him for so long. You just kind of.
No, I am. I'm dazzled, and it doesn't shock me, because he's always been. He's always been like that as long as I've known him, and I've known that he's done quite a bit, but not as much as he's told us all tonight, man. I'm really, really happy for him, and man, please tell your dad hello for me, and please tell David.
I will. You know what, Greg? I'm really thankful that I can actually tell him that, because the way we started the show. I was like, wait a minute, my father passed away.
Well, man, you know what I'm going to do? A foot in the mouth moment for me. That was a foot in the mouth moment.
I'm teasing. You know that, man. I love you, brother.
I know, brother. I know it, and I'm over it. But yeah, tell him hey, and tell David hey, and I miss him, and it's been really great talking to you, buddy.
Likewise, Kevin. I really appreciate you having me on. I had a blast. And Tiffany, thanks for facilitating.
No problem. I'm glad to get you on, because you are such a gem in this community, and it's good to help promote each other and in our goals and push towards this great vision that we all seem to be having here. So
cool.
Good to have you on.
Anything you guys need from me, man, you can count me in. I'd love to help you guys do some cool stuff. I hope this isn't my last time on.
No, absolutely not.
No,
Don't worry. I'm gonna Greg, we're going to milk Scott for all he's worth. He's going to be phone and cry.
Man, Scott, you sound like my wife.
Okay, that's fine. I'll broker the deal with her if I need to. But, Scott, before I let you go, in 60 seconds or less, what is your take with Tiffany's Guilty Pleasure, the show we do on Friday nights? Are you familiar with the show we do on Friday nights?
Are we talking about alien stuff?
Well, to me, it's a little more than that, but yeah, kind of that.
Well, my take in 60 seconds. I don't even know if I can give a take in 60 seconds, but I will say this. Hold on, let me do this the right way. If that's what you guys want to do, then I'm all for it. But I don't necessarily fall in line with that thought, but that's okay. I'm willing to listen and learn, and if somebody can show me something different, I'm all about it. I'll never close everything out 100%. How about that?
Okay. You know what's funny, Scott, is listen to this, Kevin and Greg.
I'm listening.
Scott was present last summer when my husband and we all three saw a UFO together. Do you remember this, Scott?
When we did what?
We saw a UFO together in my backyard.
We saw a UFO?
Yes, we did.
Listen, I cannot help what you guys were smoking that night, but I'm telling you right now that it is all lies. There was none.
It was all lies.
No.
All right. Scott is overwhelmed with that.
This is such a fun.
I'm overwhelmed with music, and look, if there's music in space, then I'm all about it. How about that?
There probably is. Yes.
Now,
all right, guys.
If
I knew that was coming, I had a feeling that was coming. By the way,
yeah.
I don't know why.
We argue about this constantly. Yes.
Yeah. Now he'll change Tiffany. He'll change his tune right after he gets probed south of the border. But we'll come to that.
Yeah, let's save that for the finale of the season. How about
that? Exactly. That's the climactic. The climactic moment of our there you go.
Ooh,
Scott,
I love it, man. All right,
thanks for coming and hanging with us.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll be in touch, bro.
All right, thanks.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, guys. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. Man, I could tell. I already liked the guy. I was talking to him for
he's a great
20
guy.
minutes or so. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
both
Greg,
of your other co-hosts believe that he's a great guy. He really is.
Yeah. Greg, you and him, what is it? Y'all go back, 20-plus years?
Oh, man, I hate to think back that far, but, yeah, it's at least 15 years or so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his
cool.
father owned a business. It was called a storage.
Who is alive and kicking.
Alive and kicking. And, of course, I was in the band with his brother, and I needed a job. And I was like, dude, man, I really need a job. And his brother, Dave, said, well, man, my dad's got a business. He may hire you. And he did. And I worked for him for a while.
Oh.
And, it was really cool. He was a great dude. And I got to know Scott. And Scott was always full of energy and vigor. Man, I mean, he would say, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And he would do it.
Yeah, he has the determination, and he has the drive.
My gosh, always, and very humble. Very humble guy, always friendly, and what you see is what you get, man. And there's more to him, definitely more to him than what you would think, man, because he's so humble.
Yeah. He's a cat that I think I would love to hang out with one night soon. And
and I think it's his family as well, man. His dad, his father's the same way. His brother Dave, whose nickname we called him E at that time, awesome musician. We have done a little bit of recording together, and then Dave went on and did some other stuff. He had bigger aspirations than myself, and of course Scott gave that story and helped him get there. And Dave's doing great now. I've talked to him a few times on Facebook, and he's written a book, and he's doing great now. So I'm sure with whatever they've got coming down the pike, man, I'm sure it's everything and more that Scott is saying that it is. So I'm really excited for him and looking forward to seeing what it is.
Yeah, I'm privy to the idea and the topic, and it does sound really cool. So hopefully it won't take too long to get that going, because that will definitely be something to discuss on air.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
I like that.
Yep.
Tiffany, we're moving to our second segment, second guest. You're more welcome to hang with us, or if you need to. Rumor has it you have about a year.
Let's promote Friday.
Well, actually, good point. Go ahead, promote Friday.
Yeah,
What's
let's
up with
promote Friday
our show Friday night?
and
please.
Yeah, and then you can go on. So this Friday night on the Shooting from the Lip Paranormal show, we were going to have the ET Let's Talk community organizer, Costa McCress, and his lovely wife, Hollis Polk, and they will be discussing different ways to communicate with extraterrestrial civilizations, and this is considered human-initiated contact. And we're going to discuss the pros and cons to that potential contact, and some of the different psychic and telepathic ways to communicate, and it should be a lot of fun. And if you're interested in the topic, which is becoming more and more popular, definitely tune in, and it'll be a lot of fun.
I agree. Looking forward to it. One of our guilty pleasures, Greg. I don't know where you stand with the whole paranormal thing, but you might want to, if you want to stay on Tiffany's good side, just acknowledge her liking of the paranormal, and it'll be okay.
Oh, yeah, so I could definitely tell that she's passionate for the subject, that's for sure, and I definitely believe her. And, I checked out y'all's show. I tuned in late on Friday and was checking that out. And, I don't have enough information myself. I haven't experienced anything myself, but I'm not totally saying it doesn't exist or it doesn't happen. I'm just I'm open to hear the stories and make my judgments on it, and that's kind of where I'm at with it, man. I'm not saying yay, I'm not saying nay.
All right,
being open-minded is key. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sorry?
Being open-minded is key.
Yeah, well, it would. Yeah, definitely for something like that. It's uncommon to this world. You would have to have an open mind to be able to analyze it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. All right, Tiffany. Thanks for coming and hanging with us. And
no
Scott,
problem.
Greg, your neighbor, and if anything, you and I will be talking Friday night. But have a good night and go finish folding clothes. You've got how many months of clothes to fold?
About a year.
Yeah. So there you go. My lovely Tiffany Mack. Yeah.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye, Tiffany.
See you, man. All right, Greg, finished up with Scott Frazier. Tiffany Mack joined us for that segment. Before we get to our second segment, which we will have a full segment with her, Sylvia Walters, we're going to take a quick 10-second break, and when we come back, Sylvia is going to join us, and we're going to talk some Sylvia and her music thing. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is Jeff with Radiotronic. Join us this Friday at Baxter's 942, starting at 9 p.m. We'll be rocking your favorite 70s and 80s dance music.
Radiotronic playing at Baxter's 942, Greg, this coming Friday night. You familiar with Radiotronic, right?
Oh, yeah. I've played some venues, and they've played in another room, and great band, really a cool band. They play a really cool style of music, like they said, some 80s dance stuff that you normally wouldn't hear, but it's stuff like, I remember that tune, what a great song, and, but they incorporate a lot of the electronics and a lot of the older dance stuff that you would remember from the old MTV days, man, which is really cool.
I actually got
really
to see them. I got to see them Saturday night at Stevie Ray's. It was the first time I actually seen them.
Yeah.
But besides them, they're also tied in with Velvet Saints, which you're going to be involved with one of your bands on the I think the 18th. But we'll talk about that later. But let's go into our next segment. We welcome the lovely and talented Sylvia Walters. Sylvia, what's up, lady?
Hi, baby. How y'all doing?
Hi, Sylvia.
Honey, let me tell you something. You know what? I believe in aliens because I love bass players. Baby, if there was ever going to be an alien in the band, it's got to be the bass player. Okay?
There you go.
It's got to be.
Cool.
But anyway, you know, that was a beautiful thing, and I do believe in extra special something, but, you know, and I believe that sometimes that's where the music comes from different places and different spaces that nobody can explain. And before we really go into it, I just want to send a specific shout-out to Greg. My dear friend, Sean Wallace, had a little crisis moment and had to replace the drummer, and Greg stepped in, and you did a hell of a job, dog.
Well, thank you. You know, it was. I'm so glad he called because I would have been mad if he'd called anybody else.
you know, I was just so happy with the way that it went down, and you got to be on stage with George Clinton, baby. You know,
how about that?
Pretty cool.
How about that, man?
Yeah, how about that?
That was really cool. You know, you hear that keyboard sound, and you're like, man, that's signature. That's George Clinton P-Funk signature. You know,
that's right.
And so much history there, and we were involved in the show, and it's funny you said that because Sean, I seen on Facebook Sean advertised, you know, it's like a month or so ago, we're going to be opening up for P-Funk, and I was like, man, that's awesome, man, what a cool gig to play for, and you know, and I played with Soul Circus for a couple of years, you know, a while back.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and I was really happy for him, and then he called me up with his crisis, and I was like, man, I would love to do it, man. You know, don't even ask twice. You know, I'd love to do it. So
it was beautiful. I was just so proud, and he was just so happy that he had a friend to turn to. He had a band brother and a friend to turn to, and you came through. And I loved seeing you all, too, at the Germantown Blues Festival. I saw you up there doing your little thing. You was up there shaking your head, shaking your butt, doing your thing. And, you know, you are a really good musician, for real, though, because, you know, without the drummer, you can't get nothing done.
Well, thank you so much, Sylvia. I appreciate it. You're so positive with everything. And I was going to say that. Kevin, every time you see Sylvia, every time you read something from Sylvia, it's all positive. It's all positive. Don't even think about anything negative.
I'm going to keep it all the way real, though. You know, I'm going to keep it all the way real, though, because we're going through a positive yet negative time in the city of Louisville tonight, you know, because of the funeral upcoming on Friday of the greatest, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. It's been positive, but it's been so crazy because a lot of the people that sit in line all day that were scalpers, and a lot of people are having trouble with that. But, you know, when you're dealing with something like one of the greatest athletes in the history of all time, and I mean that even though I love, you know, we all have our own favorites, you know, he cannot be denied.
Well, he didn't get that name for nothing. He didn't get that name for nothing. You know, the greatest.
Right. That's right. And it's been a difficult time for our fair city on a whole lot of levels. But today I kind of had to get a little jiggy with a few people today on Facebook that were saying a few negative things. But I do try to keep it positive, and thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you do, and that's always evident to me.
Let's get to Sylvia. Sylvia, share with us kind of the Sylvia Walters bio. What's
honey, we need a whole lot of bourbon and about 3 notebooks to tell that old story. But
actually, I got the alcohol going, but you go on and chime in. Give us the short version of this.
The synopsis.
The synopsis.
I'm a country girl. When I was 5, my daddy was the first African American minister in the city of LaGrange, Kentucky.
All right, right on.
Yeah, and he was taking up. They used to take up collection, and we would all sing that song while we were taking up collection. And I would be in the back of the church. And you could hear me in the front of the church. They'd be like, Reverend, you need to tell that girl to calm down. But I was just being myself. So they moved me to the front of the church, and then I started singing that song when they would take up collection. And it was a beautiful thing, and it made me connect to my voice. But, I was a child, and at that time, there were some incredible singers, on the radio, like Aretha and Gladys and a lot of other people. And I would sing along with the radio and stuff. But my daddy, who was the minister, said I could not sing anything but gospel music because they used to call it devil music.
No.
A lot of people don't understand that. I mean, I'm not 1,000 years old, but
no, you don't have to be. I understand that.
Right. But so I was not allowed to sing secular music until I was in my 20s, and I did a wedding, and I did a Natalie Cole song, and I really liked it, but it was outside of the church. But then when I went to college, I joined the Amazing Tones of Joy, and I got a chance to be featured in a few solos, which is a big deal because it was very competitive. And we did that, and I thought that started, growing my confidence. And then I started doing, a few other things outside of that. And I decided to go to New York. And I performed in New York a lot, and I came back home, and then I went to Los Angeles, and I was in a band called the Greg Fisher Band, and that was cool because we did all of the clubs. We did the Whiskey, we did the Roxy.
Wow.
Yeah, we did, what was it, another one, Planet something, anyway, but it was a big deal. And that went pretty well, but then my sister was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So I gave up my entire career to come home to be with my best friend. And they said that she was only going to live 6 months, but she lived for 8 years. That's why I'm still here. And I was in a band with Triangle Talent. And then I kind of got, and then I had my own thing called La Vida Loca with, we did blues only. And we did really well, but it just, you know how bands get, when it gets crazy. So I gave that up, and then I got called to be in a band called the Jaywalkers. That was all blues. I was like the co-lead singer, and I loved it, but it got pretty hectic because when we were really blowing up and do our thing around here, that was that time, Greg, I'm sure you can remember this about 5 years ago when a lot of musicians in this city, they were in like 5 bands. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember everybody was like a gun for hire. And you cannot formulate a sound.
You can't. It's hard to get that niche together when one guy's playing with you Friday night, then you got another guy playing with you Saturday night because the guy Friday night had to go play with somebody else because that guy's playing with somebody else. Yeah, you're right.
But more specifically, when that specific person is playing with you, then they playing with Boo, then they playing with Coo and Do and whatever. Yeah. And so you're getting, and Pete, you can do that if you want to. But every time you play with that band, they're not getting 100% of you. They're getting 25%. Because you giving that other 25 to the boo, other 25 to the cool, So when you play with people that play like that, and it was real big around here about 5 years ago. Everybody was doing that. So when we were trying to book gigs, when I was with the Jaywalkers, it became trouble. Because it wasn't just one member, it was a few members, and it was only 4 of us, so 5. So it was very difficult to come up with a complete sound. I believe in rehearsal. I'm not neurotic about rehearsal, but I have respect for the song. So if I'm going to get up, and if somebody that owns a club calls me and says, you know what, I want you to come, and, I want you to take over the club, and I'm going to pay you good. I'm going to give you a tab. I'm going to give you a guest list for your friends and your family members, and y'all can come in here and tear it up. Now, I take that very seriously, but I am never bigger than the song, okay? Because we're doing blues cover tunes. You're never bigger than the song. You're supposed to respect that music, and if you can't do that, it becomes a problem. Well, one night when we were going through this thing, when 2 or 3 of the guys in the band, they were playing in 3 or 4 other bands, and, when you can't rehearse, that consistency is not there. So the melody and the rhythm is all about consistency. And if you can't be consistent, you're just playing anything. And I'm not doing that, because that's not why I'm putting my name out there. And so I get a call from New Vintage, from Hunter Embry, and he said, are the Jaywalkers available? Well, I called and nobody was available. And I was really upset about it when I called Lonnie Griesbaum, my ace roadie, my straight-up dog, and he was available. I was available because we were only in one band. Yeah. So when I called back Hunter was like, well, Sylvia, why don't you just do the gig anyway? And I was like, wow. I said, you know what, Hunter? Let me give you a call back, because in my mind, I knew that my friend, that we were just becoming friends, and I had so much respect for him, was Greg Martin from the Kentucky Headhunters, and we had become friends over Facebook. But we talked about everything, and he's a very deep guy, and I hope you all take out the time to interview him. I absolutely cannot say enough about how much he loves the blues, and he understands the narrative, he understands the form, he understands the concept, and he said, you know what, Sylvia? I think I can do that gig. Well, oh my gosh, I never thought that. So I told Lonnie, we put together a band, a throw together, but we rehearsed. We learned 20 songs in like 10 days or something, just to play with Greg. And we killed it. But right when we were in the middle of the rehearsals, I found out that somebody that I adore is Shake Anderson. Oh, Lord, honey. Then I called Greg and Shake. I was trying to get Greg and Shake to do it with me, because Greg plays guitar, but Greg can play other instruments. But Shake Anderson is amazing in guitar and bass, and he's a vocalist and a songwriter. And we were trying to get Greg and Shake to play at the same time, but we could never coordinate it correctly. So I ended up doing a gig as Sylvia Walters and a band that was a made-up. It was Groove City, and Jen Yates actually came up with that name. And so now I'm playing a gig with an incredible songwriter. He's played with Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin. He's from Louisville, Kentucky, and we did a gig together. And Lonnie and I was like, we're not going back. We're just not gonna go back. So tonight, when you asked me to do this, Kevin, I spoke with Shake, and he said he was gonna call in. Has he called in yet?
I'm right
Shake
here.
He's right here.
Shake?
I'm right here. I've been listening the whole time.
Big Daddy? Shake? Now, Shake.
And is Greg on? Is Greg on the other? Is Greg on?
Yeah, I'm on here. How you doing, man?
No.
Wow.
Greg is in Sweden. Greg is in Sweden.
Oh no,
so
not that
available.
Greg. I'm not the famous Greg. I'm just the other guy, Greg.
Oh, there's multiple Gregs. Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he can't be here, but I would like to give up my moment for a second for you all to talk to because he is the man. For real.
Don't give up your moment, girl. You are too deserving of everything that these guys can do.
I love you so much, baby. I will say this to you, Kevin and Greg. Okay, now, I went to Nulu a few years ago, and they had a moment where you could go talk to the musicians that just played at Nulu, and it was Shake Anderson, Chester Thompson.
Wow.
He played with Santana. He played, oh my God. Man. Anyway, with
Phil
everybody.
Collins,
and
Genesis,
Phil Collins.
Eric Clapton.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You play with all those.
And Victor Wooten, who I've known Victor Wooten. Honey, I love Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them many times. So when...
And Steve Cropper. Steve Cropper was there.
Steve Cropper, oh my God.
The man.
Oh my God.
The man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we all are in the room with these guys, and they're in front with the microphone. And somebody asked, I had a friend say to them, what do you do when you find out that you're playing with people that only want to play for money, and that is their only goal, is to play for money and not... And Shake and Victor changed my life. They both told me, you only do music with people that you love and respect. You play with people that are your friends. When somebody calls you and says, will you play with me? The first thing out of your mouth ain't how much am I going to make?
No.
Your mouth is, oh my God, I can't believe you thought of me. And I love you. And I'm going to stop everything I'm doing, okay? And I'm going to focus on what the material is that we're going to play that night. And when we get together, I'm going to be ready. And that is the gift that has changed my life, because Victor looked at me and he said, Sylvia, when you give up that other stuff and only focus on the music that you love, you're going to get the opportunity to do the music you can't even believe. And that has been the truth. I have played with a band that I adore, the Toonsmiths. Holy crap. When they called me and said, will you do background vocals, I almost fainted. And I'm doing stuff with Sean Wallace, my straight up ace roadie. Oh my goodness. And we're going to be doing a gig coming up in the near future, which I can't talk about. And we've done gigs together already prior to that, when I fired my whole band, Groove City. They was worried about the money and focusing on other things. And because of that conversation I had with you, Shake, and with Victor, I walked away from my entire band. So if I never give a gig again, it's your fault.
Well, Sylvia, I gotta say that you know you have really put a perspective on it that I've known about, but I haven't always followed that perspective in certain points, and I'm going to think about that more often now. When people call me up and need me to do something, I'm not going to say the first thing is how much money am I going to make,
No, you never say that, because when, music is not money. Music is love. Music is passion. Music is seeking out that thing in you that God gave you, that talent that nobody can take from you. And I learned, and I knew that in my head, but I felt it in my heart when I went to that Yada meeting and Shake Anderson looked right at me, and he did, and this is before we even gigged together. And he said, "No, you can't do that, Sylvia. You can't do that. You have to play from your heart, from your gut, or what are you really doing? Testify, Shake. Testify, baby."
Well,
the other thing you said though is that it really hit home and made so much sense is what you just said there. It comes from your heart and you love it.
Yes.
But when you get to do that with your friends, and when you get to do the kind of music that you loved and you grew up with your friends, money don't matter at that point. It don't matter.
It doesn't matter, because let me tell you something, baby. When you got a friend, even if your friend can't pay you what you need to give it that gig, if you call your friend that next week and say, "I ain't got no groceries," your friend is going to show up with some money or a Kroger's card. And that's what life is. And everybody else out here doing all that other stuff, saying, "Oh, I need to make this. Why should you making that?" You know what? That's all ego-based. And music is not about ego. Music is a team effort that is inspired by God-given talents, baby, and an insight into what it makes people feel. And any real musician that especially any real leader of a band, me and Sean Wallace had that conversation, Anthony the Game. When you're in front of that microphone and you look out in the crowd, you know what the people want. You know what the next song should be, because you know why? You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the people. And if you're not doing it for the people, why are you doing it?
Yeah. Wow.
And there it is.
Let me take you to one place, though, because this is a really powerful conversation that's taking place, and I'm hoping that more musicians hear it. But when you look at let's go back to Yada, for example. Yada had Steve Cropper, who wrote "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay," "Hold On, I'm Coming," "Soul Van." Hits for Aretha Franklin. He's Rolling Stone said he was the 10th most influential guitarist of our time, period.
Right.
Because of all the hit songs he's written, but also because of he was the president of Stax. So you got Steve Cropper sitting there. You got Victor Wooten sitting there. You got Chester Thompson sitting there. You got Thomas King, who wrote God knows how many hits, and he was the first black executive at BMI. Had just retired from BMI, but is also an extremely successful songwriter. And so you got these guys sitting at this round table sharing, and I promise you, when Karen called me and said, "I'd like to put together a panel," initially she was thinking, can you put together some guys, some local guys and some people in the city that you know? And I said, well, I'll just call some friends. And
That's right.
And so I just when I called them, never once, I've never had a conversation with anybody that's real about music, about money. I've never had one. As a matter of fact, when the conversation came up, it's because I said, "Hey guys, here's what it pays." But that was after they said, "Yeah, I'll be there. What's the date? What are we doing?
Right.
Send me them checks." It's never once. Victor Wooten, I've known Victor for a long time. At one point, we were competing bass players. I lived in Nashville. He lived in Nashville. I was a session player, and he was just actually just starting to come into it. And so I've never once had a conversation with him about money. We don't operate like that. Chester Thompson, I met him. We did a jazz lab 25 years ago. With one of the guys at the panel, Thomas Kane, and Chester said, "Hey man, I want you to go on tour with me." We never talked about money, and so if you're doing it for the money, you're robbing yourself of the energy that it takes to really be involved with the rest of the players. Because, you know, don't get me wrong, we got to make money. We live in a real economy. It's a real world. And there's millions, even billions of dollars being made on the backs of musicians. And so I'm not saying don't get paid. And, you know, I'm a believer in the word. The Bible says a servant is worthy of his hire. It says muzzle not the mouth of the ox that tramples out the grain for you. That means everybody's supposed to profit somehow. But if that's your first thought, you're already off to a bad start, and you won't last.
You can't put a price on that experience on getting together with those guys and making that music and the experience and the knowledge that you're sharing and the music that you're making and the time that you're having with guys like that, you know, and just being together, and you can't really put a price on that. So
no, you can't. But it's the other thing you have to remember is, at some point you have to ask yourself, am I going to develop relationships, or am I going to develop a business model that is ever changing? Because the problem with building things based on money is the marketplace changes.
That's right.
But it won't matter what the marketplace is if you have strong relationships.
That's right.
I'm playing in Chester and I are going to Kentucky in July and also coming with us. I don't know if you know who Dez Dickerson is, but he was the guitar player in the Revolution with Prince. He's the guy with the red bandana, little red Corvette, and all of that stuff. That's Dez Dickerson. So he's coming, and we're doing a thing. And I have yet to talk. You know, when we talk about money, it's so far after the fact it ain't even funny, man. They'll call me and say, Shay, can you do such and such? Well, what's the date? And you know, I might ask, is there a flight? You know, I might ask, you know, how do you want me to get there? You know, but even then, I'm coming. If I say I'm coming. It doesn't matter what the arrangements are.
That's right.
So I think that so many musicians have.
It was amazing for me as a little nobody to have a somebody, you know, to look at me and realize the opportunity in my presence, you know, and it gave me a specific confidence, you know, that I maybe never would have been able to acquire if all I did was rely on the people that just wanted the money. Because when
you know what, Sylvia, you don't give yourself enough. You don't give yourself enough credit.
No, I'm not saying it because I said, baby. I'm only talking about the career.
But I'm telling you now. I'm telling you right now on this blog, you are wonderful, and you can't because people don't see it or don't realize it. Doesn't matter. When you called me and said, "Hey, come do so and so," I already know who you are. So
you know what you did, baby. You did not hesitate for it. It freaked me out. It freaked me out because everybody was clamoring to get the shake. And we only had a brief encounter. And I had just had my knee surgeries. I'm walking on a cane. And I was looking at you. And you looked at me and you saw my intention. And you never have ever hesitated to be here for me. And that can never go unrecognized. That's why I called you tonight. Because it's not that I had to lean on you. It was because you recognized that. And for every singer and for every musician that is out there thinking you can't look at your hero or look at somebody out there that you have love and respect for and think that they don't see that in you, you're wrong, because they look at you and they see themselves in their moments when nobody recognized them, like Sharon Jones did with me. I will never forget that. You know, she really she is my friend. We still talk. I love her. I can't even believe she, you know, it's amazing. But when a real musician can look at another real musician and see the potential, it is a beautiful thing. But you cannot hide your light under a bush and act like that you don't count. because if you do that, you're never going to get recognition. And Shake, because of you, and I'm not going to cry, but because of you and Greg Martin and a few other, and Sharon Jones and a few other people that I've had in my life, I will never, ever doubt myself again.
Well,
that's
that's
wonderful.
Right.
And Shake, I want to say it's an honor to have you on, man. And Sylvia, thank you so much for getting him on and sharing your story. With how Shake has, made you feel and helped you out and brought that on, man. That's a great story.
I gave up my band for Shake Anderson.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you all for letting us do this. And I really hope that you extend an invitation to Shake. Greg has already agreed to be a part of this too. And I talked to Daniel Jackson from the Toonsmiths. And I'll tell you, Daniel Jackson is probably, I love Sean Wallace, no question. But also, Daniel Jackson from the Toonsmiths is probably my favorite front man in the city of Louisville.
Well, that's wonderful. Wow. We'll definitely reach out to them and, get them all on. We'll bring them all on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so is my time up?
We're rounding third. We're rounding third and heading for home. Sylvia, share with us. I would like to say this. Okay. I wrote a song many, many years ago, and I've always held on to it because it's a really good song, and I'm not saying that because I wrote it. But I was contacted by somebody that told me to contact Kevin Ratterman from La La Land, and I love Kevin. And Kevin Ratterman agreed to leave the studio open for 3 days while he was out town on the road. I believe he was working with My Morning Jacket. And he said any musician that wanted to come in and record a song that was anti-establishment, anti-Bevin, anti-Governor Beavis is what I call him, and I still call him that he would do that and create an album. And I presented that song that I wrote. And I wrote that song years and years ago. And it has been mastered and it's going to be released as a part of that CD. I could not be prouder of it. It's called Anyone Among You. Bryce Gill, the bass player for the Toonsmiths, and he also has his own radio show, said it was a classic, timeless song. And I really hope that when it is released, that you all participate in the promotion of that because it is time for us to take a stand. It is time for us as a people to stand up and be counted and ask our leaders and the people that say they lead us to remember who they're leading. Because if we don't count, I'm saying that as a woman, I'm saying that as a minority, that we all got to be heard. And so it was like, I think it's 15 different songs, and it was supposed to be released on June the 1st, but because of the schedule of the My Morning Jacket and Kevin Ratterman and La La Land, they are currently mastering it right now, and when it comes out, I really hope that you all take out the opportunity to listen. Because we
will. We definitely will. Get in touch with us and let us know when it's out so we can promote that thing and possibly play it on here and stuff.
Good.
Yeah,
and I was the only one that did it a cappella. I did it without musicians. I did it by myself.
Oh, wow.
Good deal.
Yeah, well, you know it's got to be good. Then I'm looking forward to it. Please let us know when it comes out.
Well, thank you for making me feel special, and thank you for allowing me to participate.
Oh, Of course. I can't wait to meet you in person. Sylvia, share with us how people can reach you on social media.
Well, you can reach me on social media through Facebook. I am currently deconstructing the Sylvia Walters and Groove City page because Groove City no longer exists. So, and I'm creating a single page just for myself. And but you, like I said, you can always just inbox me through Facebook, through Sylvia Walters on Facebook, whatever that is. I also have a @Sylvia Walters Twitter account at SylviaWalters.com 7533, I think it is, or 7833. I don't know. I gave it to you, Kevin. So, I'm just doing that, and I've got bigger gigs coming up. I'm getting ready to do a gig with Soul Circus coming up at the Levee in July, but I can't talk about that quite just yet. Thank you.
Cool.
And
Sylvia,
Jake, what are you doing?
Yeah, Shake, tell us what's up with you before we let you go.
Well, I just returned from Manhattan and doing a photo shoot for a new CD and actual album. I'm really excited about that. We're doing actual albums these days, man. So time has come back around. When I grew up, you're talking, years ago, and albums and LPs and 45s were the thing.
Yeah.
So with that being back and them being strong, I'm really excited. I signed a deal with a label based out of Louisville, actually, called Sonic Blast. And and the records and mastering, well, it actually just came from mastering, and we were doing the photo shoot in New York, and it comes out in July. It's called Advice for the Kind Heart. And I'm just really excited about it. So that's what I've been doing. I just that, and then I'm also in the process of working on a couple of different television shows. I was the MD for one, and then the music supervisor for another one. So that has kept me really, really busy. And so once the CD comes out, I plan to go out and hopefully work that for a pretty good season, see what happens, see if the people like it. And a lot of the same guys that we talk about, they're kind of the regular band now. Chester Thompson, Victor, of course, Steve Cropper's in and out.
What an awesome band!
Yeah, we also got Felix Cavalieri doing some dates with us. We've got I don't know if you know Felix from the Rascals, and then also I'm going to be the core is myself, Chester, Victor, and Daz Dickerson, and then we're rotating in different guys depending on where we are in the tour and where their schedule is. And so that's what we'll be doing.
Maybe you background vocals, give your girl a call. La 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 la.
You got it, baby.
You already know it.
Yeah, baby, sure.
Love it.
Put her. I'm gonna put you on. We'll put you on. You heard it now, so you got my commitment.
There you go. Well, it's an honor to talk to you, man. I wish you all the luck with the new album and the tour and all that. It's really great, and keep us in the loop with all of that.
I will.
Touch base with us. Yeah, we get you on and talk some more about it too.
Yeah, I wish I could get Sylvia. I wish I could get into Louisville for Muhammad Ali's service, memorial service, and everything. It's what a.
You know what, now, guys? I am so glad he brought that up because we all got to send out some love and a recognition of about what is really happening. We lost a great person, but and right in the process of us accepting that, I will have to say I have still not recovered from losing Prince.
Yeah. Well,
we're going through it very difficult. Huh?
Well, now watch it. Now, I wrote a song. It's called "All the Kings Are Gone," and if you look at the last 4 years, we lost B.B. King, we lost Prince, we lost now Muhammad Ali, we lost Bobby Blue Bland, we lost. I mean, king after king after king after king is gone.
Yes.
And then you look at the landscape musically. And you have to wonder, man, who's stepping up to the plate? Who's filling those?
It's hard to see.
That hole, man. Yeah, there's such a hole in the world right now.
Get that. But this is my thing. This is my thing with that, because I get that and I feel that too. But this is my thing. It's time for new music. It's time for new kings.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But the climate has been such that when those kings were here, they weren't even appreciated. See, that's the issue.
We cannot be responsible for the feelings of others. We can only be responsible for the gifts we gave while we was doing our thing. And that is what we're responsible for. And now is the time for new music. Now is the time for new kings. We lost Michael Jackson, too. We can't forget that either. We lost a lot of people. But
Whitney Houston, Luther Vandross, the list goes on and on and on.
I was going to say Whitney Houston. I sure was. She's in that category.
Whitney,
my God.
It's time for new music. It's
Natalie
time for
Cole.
New singers.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah. But, I'm telling you, it's time for new music, and we can do it if we will get I believe the music business is in a malaise. I think that they have been so dependent on the regular that the people that were underneath that were not counted. But there are so many incredible people that are out there that still deserve a break. We don't have to go to the oldie goldie. There are new people out there that are killing it, that have a right to be recognized for real. Like Ben Harper, Gary Clark Jr. There are unbelievable people that are out there that are new and they are ready to go. We've got to give them a chance, because time proves that none of us are going to make it out here alive. Jim Morrison said that. We're just not going to. So we got to give
I'm changing all of that. I'm changing all of that. I'm going to live forever.
There you go.
I ain't going nowhere.
Jake's not going for it.
All right, no, I'm not done. I'll be the first one.
I'm telling you, that's what we need. We need to just keep believing and keep on going, because there's so much good music out there. There's so much good original music out there. But because we got to get radio to get up off the oldie goldie, to get into the new stuff, so that the other people can come forward. I mean, my goodness, when's the last time you've heard people blow up Lenny Kravitz? He's amazing. There's people out there to do that. We just got to turn to them.
All right, guys, you came on and killed it. You came on and killed it. It was a fun segment. We're rounding third and heading for home. Sylvia Walters, thanks for coming on and sharing your stories. Shake Anderson, thanks for making a cameo appearance and adding your flavor to the segment. Good stuff. Thanks for coming on. Yeah.
And thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg, for being the man. You stood up last week. And
thank you, Sylvia. I love you, darling.
Big deal.
I sure love you. I appreciate everything. And, man, you just keep on. We'll have you back on here, and we look forward to that, hearing that a cappella song you're talking about.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Is there anyone among you that is willing to pay the price? Oh, yeah. It's going to be
big. Preview. That's the shoot from the preview. Sylvia Walters right there.
Yeah, Sylvia, thanks, baby, for hanging with us. All right.
Okay,
good night,
thank
Dave.
you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night,
Love
Jake.
You. Good night.
Greg, Unthank, man, what a
man. What about that? What about that, huh?
What about that?
Man.
Oh, as they say, you live and learn.
That's something to witness. That's something to witness live right there, man. Sylvia Walters and Shake Anderson on the show and talk about Greg Martin and that whole experience. I've known of him. I've known of him. Yeah, he's a heavy hitter, dude. He's a heavy hitter, and that's why Sylvia, has so much respect for him and how how he made her feel, giving her the attention that she deserves, obviously, and yeah, man, he's a heavy hitter, and all the guys that he was talking about, Chester Thompson, all the guys in his band, those are top notch, those are top notch cats. So yeah, it's actually a really cool thing.
Here's a quick promo that you sent me.
What's up, y'all? Lyndsey Henken here. Come check us out this Friday, July 10th from 9 to 1 at Stooges Bar and Grill on Grade Lane. Great drinks, great food, and some pretty great music, if I do say so myself. Hope to see y'all there.
Lyndsey Henken.
That's Lyndsey Henken. She plays some good country music and some variety stuff as well. Actually in a band with Tony Frank, her bass player. He's the bass player for Blue Funk as well. So good band. Lyndsey's really cool. Met her. She sounds great. Great performer. So check her out.
Cool. Very cool. Greg, I think it was a good show tonight. It was solid, definitely. We talked all kinds of things. So I guess that's the name of the show. But I really want to keep Wednesday shows closer to an hour, not so much an hour and a half.
Sometimes we're gifted. Sometimes we get lucky.
I know, yeah. So whatever. But all right, man. Thanks again for hanging out. It's the Wednesday night show with Greg, Unthank, and I. The show theme is Shooting Stars. We talk to local musicians, either past, present, anybody who's affiliated with the Louisville area. We get them on and we talk music, all in the name of music, good music. So, Greg, thanks for hanging with me tonight. We'll do it again soon. And if you're awake on a Friday night, we're going to make you come on and hang with us when we do a paranormal show.
Well, I'll be a lot of sitting there listening, man, probably getting scared and stuff.
Scared.
Looking out my window at the stars, hoping I don't get a beam of light shine down on me and pull me up.
Oh, funny.
Hey, guys, this is Kevin Cummings. And this is Jake Badger. We're with WildWood. Join us along with our friends in Soul Circus Saturday night at 7 for the 2016 Cabo Wabo Fest on the top floor of the parking garage in Mall St. Matthews.
All right, G-Man, we're shutting down. We will guess be back next Wednesday with the full show. From me, Kevin Hale, Craig, Unthank, we wish everyone a good night and a wonderful day on Thursday. Take care. See you, Greg.
At no time were any animals or people hurt during this presentation of Shooting from the Lip.